Yo, yo, yo. What's up? It's your boy Time Out, aka T Matrix. And tonight's episode will go a little bit differently, as in it will be on this YouTube channel and another YouTube channel, my second YouTube channel on Conversation with Time Out. I intend on uploading both to both channels, right? So one is going to be hitting that channel, one's going to be hitting the other channel. You know what I'm saying? Because the conversation for tonight is it's a deep conversation, right? It's a deep conversation. So you ever had the feeling of intuitive knowing? Intuitive knowing, meaning that something inside you so deep that you know it without nobody having to tell you that nobody having to confirm it with you, that you know it so deep. And I'm kind of coining the phrase intuitive knowing, right? I don't even think nobody has ever coined that phrase before. But then again, somebody could have, but I like to call it intuitive knowing, meaning some things about life you just have a gut feeling or inner feeling that you just know. Alright, so I want to start it off with that by saying this world, man, I think I finally understand it. I think I finally get it, man. If you know anything about me, other than the rap music, other than hip hop, loving hip hop, other than loving rap, other than producing beats, other than recording my own music, mixing and mastering, other than going to Full Sail University, other than all those other things, right? You know that I'm a person about life, understanding life. I have a considerable religious background of knowing about the Bible. I hate to say that word religious, but I have a deep knowledge of biblical literature, right? I will say it like that, and I'm fascinated with how life is a lot of the times. I'm fascinated by it, and I know y'all look at me and you probably like, oh, he don't look like no church dude. Nah, I don't look like a church dude. What does a church dude supposed to look like? You know what I'm saying? What do they supposed to look like? My homeboy Ev Righteous, he used to go by Ev Righteous. Now he goes by Rhett. Shout out to Rhett if you watching this, man. I need to call and check up on you too, man. But yeah, Rhett used to say, he used to say, like I think somebody told him, you don't look like a rapper. And he said, what is a rapper supposed to look like? Like he made a whole song about it. Don't look like a rapper. He made a whole. You gotta, if you know anything about him, you go check out his page or whatever. You'll probably see all of that, whatever, man. Maybe I'll pull it up. Maybe I'll even play it as this is going on right now. It might be playing in the background. But anyway, so yeah, so basically I said that to say what does a church person look like? It ain't no specific look of it. You can't really you can't really judge a book by its cover. But back to the point of me being a lifeist, me being a person that's fascinated with trying to understand how the world ticks, how life does its thing. Fascination with God and greater understanding. You know, I've always been a person that leaned towards that type of thing. You know, I never was a surface dweller when it came to learning about, you know, the Bible, learning about life itself, even looking deep into myself. You know, I never was a surface dweller. I always kept some things closely to me, you know what I'm saying? And even though I love rap, I love hip hop, I love all of that stuff, you know, I'm still a person that's fascinated with the knowledge of all those different facets. So to the point of what I was saying is, I kind of think I figured this thing out, man. I think I figured it out, right? And what I've basically come to understand, that whatever it is in life, okay, let me say it like this. Everybody in the world, right? I'm not gonna. If you take everybody in the world and you split them into, different characters, different types, not stereotypes, but different types, different categories, right? You will have maybe roughly about, I would say if you split everybody in the world according to their lives and the different things that they've learned and known or whatever, you could probably split everybody in the world into roughly about 10 character types. 10 character types. It may be more than that. Don't quote me on that, but I believe 10 or more character types they could be into, right? Because some of the character types will bleed into the other ones, which still keeps that original 10 number. You know, walk with me, stay with me now. Don't log off just yet. I'm not crazy. I'm just trying to. I'm leading somewhere. I'm going somewhere. Okay, so meaning. All right, you have, like, I'm gonna just give you an example of what I mean by character types. You have religious people, like the people who are the religious type. And I hate using the word religious, but people who are trying to follow God and Jesus, like, they will be lumped into one character, right? People who don't believe in that stuff will be lumped into another category, right? And all the other categories, or whatever, you know, like, you know, I don't have all those other categories, but the main ones that I'm trying to make a point of right now is believers, non-believers, in between, and people who just are living life, you know, out of philosophies. You know, it's a bunch of different archetypes of individuals in this world. All right, stay with me. So what I'm saying is, all right, no matter where you fall in that archetype, no matter where you fall, you are still a part of this grand design. You're still a part of this grand design, right? What are you saying? You like? I know you like time out. Time out, man? Time out. What you saying? What I'm saying is, no matter where you fall in this grand design, You still are a part of this grand design, right? Um, Meaning the world the world functions because you are a part of the function. So, and I know y'all getting totally confused. I promise you, I'm leading somewhere. All right, everything and nothing, everything and nothing, basically. All right, if the world was created, well, we already know the world is created because we living in this world. But if the world is created, um, it goes back to the oldest understanding of the yin, the yang, the good, the bad. That type of situation and scenario. All right, so what I was saying is like everything and nothing, right? Yin and yang, good and bad, um, God and the devil, angels, demons, uh, everything, lightness and darkness, the moon and the sun, cold, hot. You see the duality. It's the continuous duality, the one and the zero. It's the continuous duality, right? Everything everything in life has that continuous duality, male and female. You see what I'm saying? We can go on and on and on and on with that duality, with that dynamic of that duality, right? So, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of it? What's the purpose of it? All right, the purpose is this. Okay, the Bible says, and I'm taking you back this way for a reason to show you. I'm trying to show you a profound understanding, right? All right, the Bible says that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, right? Heavens and the earth. That's another duality. Heaven and the earth, right? All right, so if we just stay right there in that one sentence, right? All right, we're dealing with a creator that was able to pull nothing, to grab a whole lot of nothing, right? Get it right here and make something. So he created something. He created something out of nothing. He created something out of nothing. Something out of nothing. You see that? So, something out of nothing. We still in the duality, right? So, does that mean that this world operates on that principle? This world operates on the principle at its rawest form is something out of nothing. Something out of nothing. Right? Even our thought processes operate on the same principle. Like in order for us to create something, where does it start off at? Where does that thing that we create start off at? It usually starts off in your mind. It starts off in your head. All right, when it's in your head, can you see it? You can't see it. You can't see it when it's in your head. It's invisible. When it's in your head, you can't see it. It's not able to be seen. But it's in your head. All right. In order for that thing to be pulled out of your head, you take that idea and then you physically have to put it to work for it to come alive and to be something tangible, able to be absorbed by the senses that we have, right? All right, I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere with this. So, basically, the governing principle in this world leans heavily on the duality of everything and nothing. Everything and nothing. Right? Lightness, darkness. Cold, hot. Winter, summer. Spring, fall. Everything hangs on that principle of the duality of everything and nothing. So, alright, everybody. Matter of fact, I could take it a little bit further. Let me take it a little bit further, right? Alright, the believers and the unbelievers, right? Alright, the unbelievers believe that they are 100. The believers believe that they are 100% right about the Bible, God, and everything in between. The unbelievers don't believe the Bible to be what it says it is, right? Everything and nothing, right? Who's right? It could be both of them. Both of them could be right. Because if God created existence, in Him creating existence, in Him creating infinite existence, that means that the possibility of one could be true and the possibility of the other can be true. And if God Himself lives outside of time, that means that He Himself is not affected by His creation. You know what I'm saying? I notice this might be going a little bit over a lot of y'all heads. You know what I'm saying? This might be going a little bit over y'all heads. But a divine being that lives outside of time can create something is just as big. He can create a mystery that is as big as Himself. If that makes sense. A being that lives outside of the realm that we live in can create a mystery that is as big as Him. That means He can create something. He can create something that could be true and something that could also not be true at the same time, which is what we live in. Let me expound on it a little bit more, right? Some people believe that there are dinosaurs in this world, right? Some people believe that there were dinosaurs that lived in this world once upon a time. Some people believe dinosaurs are fake. They believe dinosaurs didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? Some people believe dragons existed once in this this world. Some people believe that all of that is fake. Some people believe that the stories of the mythologies of Zeus and all of these mythical gods, some people believe that stuff was real. Some people believe it not to be real, right? They both can be right. If we're living in a statistical anomaly, if we're living in a situation to where we see things that support the evidence, and we also have people that can do analysis to prove otherwise, then does that mean that both of them are actually true? I know you would say, nah, both of them can't be true. But if the situation that if this world that we're already living in has a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of things that's going like that that's mind-boggling. Truth is always stranger than fiction. It's always stranger than fiction. I'm not saying 100% that this is the truth. I'm saying that it could be a very fervent possibility. It could be a very fervent possibility. All right, there are some people believe giants exist. You know, there's a lot of YouTube content of people showing evidence of giants, giant bodies, giant bone structures, or whatever. And some people believe that that's fake. You know, and especially in this age of AI, like, you know, they're like, oh, that's AI. But what about before AI? What about all of the stuff we saw before there was AI? What about all of that stuff? AI is not that old, y'all. AI is not that old. It's not that old. AI is very young. So what about all of the things that we saw on YouTube before AI became an actual thing? Like, what do you say about that? What do you say about that? So basically, my point is, everything in this world has a certain level of understanding to it, and it all matters. It all matters. Matter. What is matter? What is matter? Matter is something tangible, something that you can touch, something that you can see, feel, or whatever. You know, that's matter, right? Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's do this. I'm sorry. Maybe you can see me. I just went into Safari real quick, and I want to do something. Let's go here, and let's say so. Microphone. What is matter? What is the definition? I'm right here in Chat GPT, y'all. Okay, in science, matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. In parentheses, it says has volume. Everything you can physically touch is made of matter, including air, water, rocks, trees, animals, your body, planets, and stars, right? Right, so that's the definition of matter. That's what matter is, right? All right. We also say, what does it matter? We use matter in that different type of vibe. We use it in sentences like, what does it matter? Like, does it really matter? You know, like you see how interesting that is. Like, we take a word that literally means something, but then we could use it in a sentence to make to really make it nothing. Like, what does it matter? What does it matter? Like, I want y'all to think about these things, man. Like, this is just food for thought. This is food for thought. Like, but the point that I'm leading to is, what if we all are correct in our assumptions? What if we all are correct? One thing that I believe is that this world is definitely a peculiar place. We have, some people believe the earth round, some people believe the earth to be flat. Some people believe that there's more land outside of the ice walls. Some people believe that all of that is just conspiracy theorist talk and AI and all of that. But some people believe that there are no planets. Some people believe that there are planets. You know, scientists have all agreed upon certain things to be true. So does that make it true if it's agreed upon by all of science? Does that make it 100% true? I'm just these are just questions that I'm posing to you in this premiere. Like, just because we agree upon something, does that make it true? All right, the Bible says if two or three gather in His name, and they agree upon something, that it should be done. That's what the Bible says. Okay, so does that mean if me, my wife, and my kids, if we agree upon that our family is going to be a millionaire one day, we're going to be millionaires one day, does that make that true? You probably say, nah, that ain't going to make that true. But science, scientists say that when scientists agree upon something, that, like, just because it's agreed upon amongst many scientists, that makes it true and that makes it real. Hmm. So is the Bible true, or is the Bible lying? Or is scientists true, or is scientists lying? You know. They also said they went to the moon, which I have I have my own reserves about that right there. But yeah, man, it's just interesting. It's interesting to think about. But this world, man, is very complex in many facets. And I just wanted to share this conversation. Food for thought. It's your boy Time Out, aka T Matrix, and I'm about to shut it down, y'all. Peace.